Good day, Raiders, and welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm IceMan, and today we are going to do a video on one of the power couples of the game, more or less. It's actually going to be a guide video on Countess Lix, featuring none other than Astrolon, her daunted lover. It's got to be a weird coupling, you know, one's like an angel, one's a demon, but you know, I'm sure they figure it out, long distance relationships and all that. Anyway, I must admit I should have looked into the actual mythology between them that they laid out, but I didn't, and here we are. So instead you get a weird rambling intro from me. Anyway, Countess Lix, new to the game, alongside Astrolon, absolutely amazing looking champion. Now you're going to think I'm really strange here, but my favourite part of this character is the tail. I think the tail looks really cool, the way it's sort of segmented and just wiggles around. I mean, the tails, who knows, you know, I mean, what can you say? So, yeah, I mean, that aside, she's got this really cool armour, really solid, absolutely amazing design, as so many of them are these days. This sort of green ichor dripping off the wings, the helmet, the whole overall aesthetic is just absolutely brilliant. So yeah, Countess Lix, she's a demon spawn legendary attack based champion, and let's jump into a kit, shall we? So her A1, Festering Caress, you gotta love these names, you really have. Attacks one enemy 2 times and has a 30% chance, 50 when booked, of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. Yeah, it's a great A1, 50% chance of placing the 25% weaken on the A1, which is pretty solid, especially if you have her with Astrolon, because she basically does a free counter attack when he does his A1, which gives you even more chance of putting out that weaken out there. Okay, it's not an AoE weaken, it's a single target, but it's still a solid ability. And then we've got Maya of Misery, attacks all enemies 3 times. You read that right, 3-time AoE. It's a pretty solid ability. Each hit has a 75%, 100 when booked, chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. That's huge. 30% decreased speed across the entire team, and a 100% chance you're not missing it. You know, it's and because you're placing it, you don't have to worry about weak hits. So she can even do this against weak affinities and still place it, so that's really cool. Each hit also has a 100% chance of decreasing the enemy's turn meter by 10%. So you've got turn meter 10% decrease plus putting out the 30% speed decrease on an AoE. This can be booked down from 5 to 4 turns, and it's worth your books, and it only takes 4 for this ability, so it's actually really solid. Then we go on to array 3-time dilation, attacks all enemies, and has again 100% chance when booked of placing a block cooldown skills debuff for 2 turns. Also decreases the cooldowns of all ally skills except for this champion's by 1. Look out, Hegemon, there's a new gal in town, and her name is Countess Lix. Now this is an amazing ability. Granted, she's not actually a full-on replacement for Hegemon, for the one simple fact that his passive allows him to go first. If she had that, she'd be so busted it'd be ridiculous, but unfortunately she doesn't. So on fights where you're fairly certain you're going to go first, she's definitely the better option. I personally feel, myself that is, because he only has a 50% chance of placing the block cooldown skills. This gal does 100% chance of placing the block cooldown skills. Yeah? Okay, now she's got to beat the accuracy thing. Now, although it says places, I'd swear you can get weak hits with this. I could be wrong, but it doesn't always place. But it's still an absolutely amazing ability. She's one of my go-to champions for the arena now. I've been using this girl built out like this for a week or 2 now, and I absolutely love her. Her and Astralon and another gal here, Sissia Flametongue, that I did a recent guide on, are my sort of dream team, treble trouble team, and I absolutely love going with them first. If they fail, because I got out sped and the enemy went first, managed to stop me from doing my stuff, then I'll usually come back at them with a hegemon team. But for pure fun, if nothing else, I love using this team because I just think they pair so well. Anyway, enough on that. So, yeah, and again, also cooldown decretion of all your decretion. Is that even a word? Duh. Anyway, she also decreases the cooldowns of all ally skills, which we already said, but that again is huge. Hegemon doesn't do anything like that, so you've got 100% chance of block cooldown skills, plus decreasing the cooldowns of all your allies' skills. And it says all ally skills, it's not just like one skill at random here or there, it's all of them. So she's helping your entire team tick round to all their abilities so much quicker. Plus she's putting decreased speed out there on the enemy, plus she's decreasing their turn meter, plus she's freezing them up so they can only come at you with the A1s. This gal is absolutely amazing. Now, she was the free champ on the recent shard pools and all that, and alright, she wasn't that free. It did cost a lot to get her. Well, not a lot, I mean, I already had a fair bunch of shards saved up, accumulated ready, but it still cost me a good chunk of change. And by no means would I turn around and say she was a free champion, because that's not entirely true. She was a guaranteed champion if you were willing to put the money into getting it, or if you'd been saving for a very long time, and nobody saves that long because they'll use them on a 2x. But still, an absolutely amazing champion, one of my favourites in the game, I have to say. So this can be booked down from a 7-turn cooldown down to a 5-turn cooldown. Then she's got two passives. Yeah, two passives. Unredeemed removes one random debuff from Astralon and this champion at the start of each turn, so they just debuff's gone just because they're together. So they are really a brilliant team to play together, and I do love to do that, both in the arena and other areas of the game. She's actually on my main Doom Tower wave clearing team. I think she is that good. Then we've got second passive, Channel Woe. Fills this champion's turn meter by 5% each time an ally receives a debuff. So if your allies are in the arena, wherever it be, dungeons, you name it, they're taking debuffs, she's just getting faster and faster, so she can tick around and do more of her kit quicker. It is absolutely amazing. It's one of the best kits in the game to my mind. I absolutely love this champion, and yeah, so let's take a look at how I've built her. Total stats, we've got 31.5k health. Not huge, but not too bad, bearing in mind she's an attack based champion. Attack is 3.8k. I would like that higher, but again, she's kind of stat hungry. She's one of those champions where you want a lot of accuracy, you want a lot of damage out of her if you can get it, you want a lot of speed out of her, especially her, because you want her going right after your speed booster, or if you're just using her in the dungeons and stuff and you don't have a speed booster for whatever reason, you still want to go in pretty early on and locking everybody up. So high speed is a necessity with her, and then high attack as well. So she is a very stat hungry champion. That's the only problem. Her and Astron are very similar that way, and Sissia, to be fair. So they're bringing out a lot of these champions where you kind of need everything, and it's a struggle to build them. It really is. I'm glad I'm not new to the game, because new to the game I would really struggle with getting these sort of stats. Obviously a lot of this, like the accuracy, although my stats aren't highly built up for the rest of the Great Hall, my accuracy is maxed out, and it is such a big boost. It really is. It helps massively. So moving on, a gear, we've got an accuracy banner, crit damage necklace, attack ring, speed boots, attack chest, I do apologise for the 6-star rolled up gloves, but I could have swapped her out, but it would have meant losing crit rate, and she only gains 15 crit damage out of that, so it's not a huge amount really. And then we've gone for, I do have another 6-star piece here, but as per usual, I won't roll this up till after I've done the guide, because I like to show them a little bit more sort of accessible for you guys. So this will stay like this until I've done the guide, get the guide out of the way, and then I'll roll it up. We've gone for a speed set and a perception set, so as to boost the speed and the accuracy. Speed, I don't know actually if I covered that one, but I've got her up to 238. It's a solid speed. I really could do with getting her faster even, to be honest. It's just, if I can get some 6-star boots on her that have the substats I want, then that's possible, but the main reason these are here is the 3 roll on the crit rate plus having crit damage. If I can get something similar, I can't really afford to lose any more crit damage on her, I don't think. You know, she's not quite, I think we glossed that bit over, to be fair. 94 crit rate, again I'd like that at 100, and 193 crit damage, so she's pretty solid on the crit damage, but the crit rate is below par, and therefore that's why I didn't want to lose any. So that's the way we've done that. Let's take a look at our masteries, and I'm actually going to remember to move myself out of the way this time so you can see. We've gone down the attack tree. I keep doing that. So we've gone for a fairly standard sort of arena build initially, with crit rate, crit damage, it's more damage at full health, gain speed as you kill people, more damage on a first hit, chance to reset your cooldowns if you get a big enough hit, down into more damage in arena, and more damage everywhere really, but even more in the arena. And then, because obviously her main role for me is debuffing, we've gone down the support tree and we've gone for accuracy into more accuracy. We've got Laura still for the speed set on her. We've gone again for a chance of resetting her abilities, because let's face it, if you can get a free reset out of them, it's worth doing with her. We've gone for the Evil Eye, just to try and Evil Eye? Sniper even. I knew that didn't sound right. We've gone for Sniper just to bump up that chance to lay the weaken on the A1. And obviously Master Hexer is there to increase all her debuffs. And because she is a debuffer, I've gone for Eagle Eye to increase the accuracy by 50. So let's take her into some content, shall we? So, places you can use her. Well, early game certainly. She's not going to be bad in the Spider's Den. She's got good solid AoE. She decreases turn meter only by a small amount, but she also puts that 30% decreased speed out there. So that's going to be really solid early game, certainly. It's not ideal for me, I don't feel, on my teams. I don't see that I'd really get much benefit out of it. I think the team I've got set up is better as is. She has a double hitter on her A1 and a triple hitter on her A2, so she's actually kind of solid for the Fire Knight, except for the fact that she's the wrong affinity. That's not to say she can't help you get through the shield, and she's still going to play some of those debuffs and stuff, because as we said, she does do those on weak hits, so she's viable there. Dragon's Lair is obviously her best dungeon, and that's the one we're going to showcase for a dungeon. I'm not going to go through and do all the dungeons again with this champion, because I want to get through a bit more, try and show Doom Tower run maybe, and also some arena battles. So we'll just do this one, but you know, she's kind of usable really everywhere, and that's great. Clan boss, maybe not so much, but you know, faction wars definitely, Doom Tower definitely, all the dungeons and keeps really. She's viable, certainly to different degrees, and then obviously on different bosses, bearing in mind the affinity. She's also then amazing in the arena, and that's my favourite spot for her. So we'll show you here. We'll see what this is like. I've not trialed this. but we'll take out Sisia. Put these two in together and see what we can do, and we will move me back out of the way so that I'm no longer in the wrong place. So bang, straight out she comes out, and she's locked up people for 2 or 3 turns. They're only able to use their A1s. Obviously Ashlon then comes in, does a right old smack. So far these guys have not had a turn, because my team's fast enough to just keep them locked up. Ashlon comes in with stuns. I mean, look at the damage we're getting here. So we don't have the lockout this time, so things are going to start being a bit tougher, and we'll see what they can sort of do when she's not locked them out right at the start. But there you go, that's already back around. That's how quick she is and how many turns they get at this sort of speed. And as you see at the moment so far, I don't know if my team's even taken a single hit. Maybe it has, it's not really been felt. And there you go with that follow-up, so you get the free hit there, which speeds things up enormously. She goes in with her A1, he comes in with his A1, she'll come back in with her A1 again. You know, that's another 25k of free damage. Obviously you can't stun the boss, but you can do all your damage and decrease speed and everything. Those 50k hits. You know, especially on bosses, if you don't have somebody like an Arbiter who's in there doing the weaken, being a single target weaken isn't actually a problem when it comes to bosses, because you've only got the one target. Other than the likes of the spider bosses, obviously. So there you go, 2 minutes 19, not much slower than what I normally do, or even my best time. And let's look at the damage, shall we? So obviously Xavier and Cold Heart are in there as the main damage dealers. Arbiter's negligible. Astralon did 640. Countess Lix actually out damaged him, whilst being a massive support with the damage mitigation that she was bringing along, and the speed ups and all the rest of it, which just shows how amazing she really is. So next up we're going to take them into the arena, and we'll see what it's like there. Okay, so this is a fairly standard team. They're a bit stronger than me. This is the sort of team, like I say, I've been playing with lately, and I absolutely love it. It's all going to really come down to, am I fast enough? Now I know I don't get a decreased defense using this team, but or do I? Can't remember what Sisia does now all of a sudden. But she's still not designed to be the fastest on the team, I don't think so. No, and they were faster, so hence this is what happens when they're faster. So I will actually leave this in the video just to show you they are a great team. It's really fun to watch them work when they get to, but if the Arbiter on the other team's faster and they go first, you're kind of screwed, because you've got no real support there, nothing to keep you alive. Let's try this one. Actually, we'll try this one. This is a high resist team, since they put a resisting champion for and not the speed lead. But you've got some really powerful champs here with some good damage, and obviously at 261 their team power is quite a bit higher than mine. We're going for our speed boost. Alright, we've managed to lock out 3 of them, so my accuracy is high enough to beat 3 of them. Even with their high resist team. The only one that didn't was Krisk. And we're going to try and stun everyone. Didn't quite get that off on Krisk again. And some good damage. Alright, we'll get her out with her A2 and do the speed. This is the problem. This Krisk is tearing me up on his own. Not that the fight's over, but that's more luck than skill in this case. Let's try one more. Alright, we're mostly a blue team, so this is actually quite a good team to show you. There's a possibility again of them being faster. By the looks of it, I'm guessing they're set up as a cleaver comp, which means she's probably built quite fast. Doesn't mean they will beat me, but they do. At which point we're in trouble. Right, everybody locked out. We've already lost our arbiter, so we've got no error from room for error here. No margin for error. And yet we still managed to win. But it just goes to show you the sort of damage they can do. I mean, this is actually a fairly solid team, and they've got Lysandra and Longbeard in there, which is a great team up. But then, rather than going for decent AoE champions, they've gone for Cupidus and Royal Huntsman, which isn't necessarily the best pairing. Alright, now this one's more comparable to me in power, and we're neutral or strong, so we'll see who wins the speed battle. Yeah, I mean, you can tell by the fact that I've done so many arena battles, this is my favourite place to use her, and this is exactly the sort of run that I wanted to show you. So it didn't beat me on speed. Come out with all our nukes and they're just flattened, and that's it in a nutshell, really. So now let's go take a look at the Doom Tower. I'll show you on normal, but here's the top of normal. So prime example, we've got freezing champs and whatnot. Could be a slight issue, but this is the team I tend to run. So we've got Xavier in for her attack lead, plus obviously she's a great nuker, and then we've got 3 great nukers with 1 support to pick them up just in case. There you go, they're nearly all locked out. Now they're just all dead. This wave could be interesting. Obviously you've got a lot of potential damage here. Rotus and Mountain King. 2 very dangerous champions to be up against. Oh, and they've even got Sifi for backup. And yet they didn't even get shot off. Now I know this is normal and we're using legendaries here, but the whole point is to showcase what she can really do. And I think we're doing that quite well. Once they're locked out, they can't even come back at us with anything. And it's also to showcase somewhat the pairing of Countess Lix and Astrolon, who do work absolutely amazing together. I think, quite frankly, I like to call this my Wings of Death trio, and I think the three of them work so well together and look really cool together as well, so it's just really nice. We can try a hard Doom Tower before we call it quits, and we'll see how that looks. I'm actually struggling on the hard Doom Tower, getting through the Nether Spider. I think I need to build up some better cleanse champions. Having isolated the weakness, I just need to sort of do something about it, you know. So you see, we are struggling more here, obviously, but again, we've got decreased speed out there on nearly everybody. We get those extra hits from the free counter attack, which also really helps us get through this stuff. She's down, but Arbiter will pick her back up in a minute. And again, we've got so much damage going out there from everybody else. In fact, Astron picked her up instead, killing somebody with his A2, I think. See, that's the other nice thing about having Astrolon on your team, is you've actually got a secondary revive as long as you kill somebody with that A2. But it's nice, it's a nice little just backup that just provides that little extra protection to your team. And there you have it. So, a decent solid time. Alright, I know it's no 10-second time that so many people out there are getting, but we got through it. We got through it relatively comfortable. We lost one champion, but it was never really in doubt at all. And as you can see, you know, Sissy has done the core of the damage on that one. Xavier's bringing up the second spot, but Countess isn't far from Xavier. She's pretty close. Astrolon's only a little bit behind her even. I might have him built slightly not quite as well as her. I don't know. I'll have to look at that. But all in all, she is an absolutely amazing champion. If you've got her, congratulations. If you've got her and Astrolon, doubly congratulations, because they're an absolutely great pairing, and it's really fun watching them work together and seeing what they can do together. You know, I mean, we've covered it all here. She's great in just about everything. The only thing I maybe wouldn't try using her for is Clan Boss. If you need a weaken, she does damage. You know, she does, but decreased speed's not really going to help you. Turn meter reduction's not going to help you. She can't block his cooldown. So, to be fair, the only thing she brings is some decent damage and that weaken on the A1. So, personally, I wouldn't build her for the Clan Boss. But just about everywhere else, I think she's got potential for, depending on the team you're going to use her with and the strategy you're aiming for in certain places. But in most places, you can just throw her in with any team really, and she'll do quite well. Because she's just that good of a champion. She can help carry you through stuff. She's an attack-based champion that's going to help you nuke stuff down, while also doing a lot to keep damage off of your team and speeding your team up. And, you know, all in all, you can't knock that. She's just amazing. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know it's a good video and more people should watch it. And if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button and ding that bell, and then you'll get notified next time I release a video. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.